that. So that's me in a nutshell. So I'm an ambassador for RNID, the Royal National Institute for the Deaf, and I talk a lot about tinnitus. So I want to talk a little bit about The Apprentice. See, The Apprentice is a show. I think there's someone on here that's actually been on it, where you've got to get through between about 60,000 and 100,000 people. They're your competition. And it's like Elliot said, that's a small reflection of life. All of us here are trying to be heard. And our competition isn't the 100,000 people I had to compete with to get onto The Apprentice. It's actually what, 2 or 3 billion people on social media, all of that noise, all of that chatter that we're trying to penetrate and get through all the time. So The Apprentice was something that I looked at and thought, I need another way to elevate my voice. I really want to make a difference. And I applied for it, got through what, the 100,000 other people that applied, trying to get into that coveted 18 spaces. And then on the show, you're then fighting with these 80 or 17 other people to actually win the thing. Now, I was fortunate enough to get to the final, which was great, but I didn't have enough time to work on the business plan. And so that was it for me. But I'm glad I got all the way to that final. And this clip that you're looking at here is a pitch that I did for Formula E. And when I tell you, had I not been trained, I probably would have been leaving at this point. This was episode 4, I believe. Lord Sugar himself took 2 of our best people and put it on the opposing team. And suddenly my team, this is the first time I was leading the team, that was PM, became the underdog. Now, because of my history of dealing with pain, the minute you make me the underdog or the minute you place obstacles in front of me, you actually unleash the beast. Because most of us, we don't realize we're actually much more powerful when our back's against a wall or we've got something at stake. And what you see, if anyone's ever watched this show, and I advise you just to watch it, was nerves. It was, I'm not sure. It's what I'm doing. What am I doing here? It is 3 or 4 hours sleep. On that show, they literally do wake you up in the morning. My brother had only just passed away 5 years before this moment, and he was the reason why I went on the show. I had all of this myriad of emotions there. But in that moment where I'm here with the mic, one thing had me focus: purpose. It was as simple as that, purpose. And my purpose is to be the greatest version of myself at all times. And I'm telling you, when you get present to that level of purpose, no fear in the world, even my phone ringing, no fear in the world can get in the way of that. And that's another thing that we're going to be training you about: how to come from purpose rather than fear. It's a very, very important thing, and it can be trained, because I wasn't like this. All of this has been years of training. If anyone knows what tinnitus is and derealization, they're things that have you in your head. It's very hard to be present just within your own self, let alone be with an audience. But you can be trained to be with an audience. Elliot's done it. I've done it. I'm sure there's people on here that have been trained to actually locate yourself, your intention and your attention with an audience and not with self. And that's what you saw here. And this was actually a record-breaking performance on The Apprentice. We raised 34.4 million, I believe. And we even beat Donald Trump on his Apprentice show in America. No one on Donald's show in America also beat that. And that all came from just purpose and taking all of the pain I'd been through and pouring it out into my communication, into my speaking. So for those of you who are thinking, well, what am I going to speak about? Sometimes that's the best place to look at. You've got certain areas of interest, but you've also got certain areas of experience that you can also turn into a keynote. And these are things that the world needs to hear. And sometimes we don't realize how important our own personal journeys are. There is someone out there that needs to hear it. I mean, I've just seen someone in the group say, a fellow tinnitus sufferer. I didn't realize until I started to go on TV and talk about tinnitus just how many people suffer with tinnitus. And because I'd found a way to live with it powerfully, I didn't realize other people hadn't. So being on stages, being on TV, being on the rest of it was a way for me to ease the suffering of others. Because yes, I got through life saying I could always jump off a building. I knew I would never do it, but I had it in my back pocket. Some people, unfortunately, don't have it that way, and they do leap off buildings. So as speakers, we've got to know that we're more than just speaking. We actually have the ability to alter people's worlds. That's why I want everyone to be trained as a speaker. It's so important that you're here disseminating and sharing who you are powerfully, passionately, that you make a difference in the world or a space, wherever it might be. Elliot, next slide. You've just played it. It goes on. So why
Yeah,
it matters, like I said, speaking is the #1 skill for influence, leadership, and opportunity. And most people hold back due to fear or lack of structure or uncertainty of their message. That is what Unleash the Ultimate Training is about. It's about removing those fears. Like I said, you can have those fears in the background, they never go. Every time I go on TV, there's an element of fear. But the purpose, the mission, the reason, everything else that's there is 100 times more powerful than the fear. And again, that can be trained and it is trainable, and we will train you in that. This training is all about unleashing your voice, your story, and therefore your authority. And one great thing, when you build yourself up so much, like Elliot just said, I mean, he's turning away 10 grand, 10 grand, Elliot. But you
Hmm.
could get to that point where you've got inbound. Rather than you always out there and you're knocking on doors and you're trying to get it, you create such a powerful brand for yourself that people are coming to you, asking you to speak. Like I get asked all the time. I'm sure Elliot does. I'm sure there's people here that gets asked to speak all the time because you've created a brand that's so powerful. And the key to that brand is your communication and is your speaking. That's how people get to know you. It's very key. Next slide, Elliot.
Just having a couple of technical issues here, so
It's
bear
fine. I
with
can
me.
see it. I'm just looking at some of the comments here from Zafira, loving it already, passion and purpose. And again, and that's why I speak with so much passion. Like it's such my reason for being that people squeeze out every ounce of who they're meant to be. I hate the thought of anyone getting to the end of their life saying I coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, I wish I'd done something. That's the number one regret of most people. They regret what they didn't do rather than what they did. So hence why Unleashed is born, so I can teach everyone else how to speak with passion and with purpose. So here we are, Unleashed. It's a transformational program designed to help professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders step into any stage. And I mean any stage, whether it's a physical stage or it's on TV or it's in a podcast, wherever it is, you do so with confidence, clarity, and impact. So you've got here myself there, and you've got Linda Plant. For anyone that is a fan of The Apprentice, she's going to be joining us as well. My good pal. I actually had to face her, and she gave me the worst grinning of my life. But
Hmm.
she's an incredible soul and an incredible speaker. And for those of you that are on the training, you'll be facing her too, because we're going to have you, once Elliot's trained you up, you're going to be presenting your keynote speech to Linda and some other great people as well. And we'll be evaluating you. So no pressure, guys. And to the left of me is my beautiful wife, Ines, who's a co-founder of Sobo Club. Next slide, Elliot. So what you learn, confidence mastery, how to overcome nerves and own the room, like I've said again and again. And Elliot's got some incredible techniques of how he teaches that as well. We've also got an array of other trainers that will be coming in as well. You guys are going to be absolutely spoiled with that. Message clarity, crafting talks that connect, inspire, and persuade. Delivery skills, you've got your body language, your voice control, your cadence, your pacing, your ability to speak to one people. I have this technique while I'll speak to just one person in the audience, hold their gaze for 3 seconds or more, and then move on. And it might sound uncomfortable, but that technique really, really works because people feel that you're really speaking to them, and you are, rather than shifting around and your eyes are darting all over the place. Speak to those people because what you're doing isn't for you, it's for them. Ultimately, as long as you remember who you are and who you're being, if you're committed to making a difference in the world, then it's not about you, it's about people. So whatever the barriers between you and people, we have to dismantle that so you can actually be with people authentically. Storytelling, like I've just told you my story, you know, my journey with my health journey, my journey with my music journey, my journey on The Apprentice and becoming a father. Storytelling is so key. It's how we capture other people. Human beings thrive on stories, which is why we've gone to the cinema now for over 100 years, because we're always desperate for stories. Going right back to who we were, we'd have sat around campfires telling stories. Again, that is an art that is to be taught and trained. And then your signature talk and blueprint, which Elliot is going to speak about a little bit later. How you design your keynote. I mean, I myself have learned so much from Elliot about designing a keynote, what goes into it, the way you section it out, how you start, how you begin, how you end. It is just absolutely phenomenal, and you'll be getting that training. Next slide, Elliot. So what we're going to cover in Unleash, yes, we're going to be covering stage speaking, like Elliot said. And for anyone out there that's thinking of doing a TED Talk, we'll also cover a bit of that. And Elliot's got some really, really great avenues for that as well. I know there are a lot of people out there who have TED Talks on their bucket list. My wife actually did one. I mean, I don't know how she did it. It is actually quite nerve-wracking doing a TED Talk. That was incredible. So anyone that's interested in that, someone just did a TED Talk just there in Denmark. And also, like I said, broadcasting for TV and radio, presenting with authority and charisma in media settings. That's very key, the thing with broadcasting, because unlike a TED Talk or on stage, those avenues you get a second chance. The thing about TV and radio, if you bomb, often it can get very hard to get a second chance. So we're going to train you how to not bomb, how to stick to your mantras, how to speak with authority, even when challenged. And I get it all the time. If you ever watch my show on GB News Saturday, 6 to 9 o'clock, you will see I'm always fighting. I'm swimming against the tide because, like I say, I'm always trying to connect people. And sometimes there's a lot of division type stuff on there. But I do so in a way that honors those people, doesn't shut them down. It allows them to speak. It allows us to flow. And all of that, again, we're going to be training you how to be able to do that on broadcast, because my wish is that everyone here on this webinar gets a chance to go on what we call legacy media. Everyone thinks social media is the most important thing, and it is. I'm not saying it isn't very important, but legacy media still cements your credibility and authority. I promise you, if someone's been on the BBC or the ITV, anywhere you go around the world, there's a level of authority that gives you, especially the BBC, because it's not you crafting your own stuff in your own social media channels where, of course, you're going to make yourself look good. This is you going in front of the world. And we've seen it when it goes wrong. I mean, we've got people like Rylan at the moment having to deal with comments that he's said. We've seen people's careers literally collapse from one conversation. I'm sure Prince Andrew regrets ever having that conversation on TV. So it's very important for all of you guys to understand that it's actually easy in many ways to get on TV, but it's also very easy to be on there just to one time. We're going to be training you how to speak in those environments, and also podcasting. My friend James, who's one of the leading voices in podcasting, will also be coming in and doing a training session with you guys, teaching you about how, again, to speak with authority on a podcast. See, this speaking, including social media messaging, is all about owning your voice in every single platform. So it goes beyond just speaking on stage, like I said. It goes every single platform that you are, you own it with power and with passion. Next slide, Elliot. So here's an example like what I said. This was a Good Morning Britain. I'm just going to quickly touch on this, Elliot. So I was asked to come onto the show. Like I say, guys, you'll get to the point where you'll be called up and asked to come onto shows. And this was just a conversation around tipping, whether tipping should be outlawed or not. And because I'm an egalitarian, I don't believe government should be involved in such things. And it's up to us whether we tip or not, right? But I had no idea that this would go on to garner 1.2 million views. And one of the reasons as well is because Good Morning Britain themselves have tagged me. And that's what's great. When you start to own your voice, you start to create a presence that can be just as big as something like Good Morning Britain, which really is a national treasure, an institution. But if you get big enough, they will actually share stuff with you jointly. So all the metrics that they would normally enjoy, you get to enjoy. And the amount of extra eyeballs I've got from this, the amount of extra requests I've got to speak because of this, I've even got requests to join boards of charities because I was talking about people who work in hospitality should be supported, which I'm going to do. It's very, very, very important, guys, that you think of legacy media. Yes, not as many people watch TV as they used to, but the gravitas of legacy media has not disappeared. It is incredibly important to still find yourself on there. And if you're an expert in your field, you should be being called up by journalists, by producers, and they should want to know what you think about important things. It's very important. Even beyond just your area of expertise, you'll become someone whose opinion on things matters. So this is very key. Next slide. So who's this for? This is for entrepreneurs who want to win clients and investors, for professionals aiming to position themselves as leaders, for coaches, consultants, creators ready to amplify their message, and leaders who want to influence, inspire, and leave a legacy. So if that rings true to you guys, then this is for you. And one special thing here that I really want to point out as well, it's also for people who want to sell from stage. Because that's quite an important thing, and it's a thing that scares people. We have coaches where people are selling, whether it's their products or their services, but they're very scared to pitch themselves. I use The Apprentice as an example of us every time under pressure having to pitch, and I was always put forward to pitch. And anyone that's watched that show, you're pitching stuff that you have zero idea about. It could be cupcakes, it could be an electric van, it could be Formula E. I didn't even know Formula E existed before I went on that show. But when you have that level of training, you can pitch anything. So imagine pitching a thing that you're already passionate about. You know, imagine you're trying to sell your company, pitching that to potential investors, but doing it with such purpose and passion that they're like, right, checkbook, let's go. That's another thing that one of the trainers coming in, a guy called Jess, and what some of you guys might know, will be coming in and speaking about how to sell from stage. Because again, selling is an act of communication. And it's a very important thing that we all need to learn is how to be able to actually sell ourselves as well. So the outcomes. By the end of this training, you'll speak with authority and charisma. You'll deliver talks and presentations that engage and inspire. You build credibility, influence, and opportunities through speaking, and you'll leave behind fear and step into your full, unleashed potential. Next slide, please, Elliot. So this is some of our team that are going to be here. Of course, you've got myself, you've got my lovely wife, you've got Linda Plant, you've got this handsome man in the middle, Elliot K. Lovely, lovely picture there. You've got Frederic Afrita. And Frederick's great, right? Frederick was actually on this year's Apprentice, and he's actually an award-winning speaker. Elliot, you were supposed to give him an award first time round. I don't think you got hold of
He
him.
didn't show up.
Didn't
So
show
he
up,
didn't
yeah.
get it.
He is one of the most passionate speakers, and he's actually going to come along and demonstrate that for you guys. Because again, when you're new to it, you're going to think you don't have what it takes. When you see people come and deliver it, and they tell you their journey of who they were beforehand and who they are now, you will get that impossible is nothing. You know, I'll have people watch me and say, "Oh my God, Trey, you're so charismatic." I was sick for half my life. I was nothing but charismatic. I was quite withdrawn, didn't have many friends. I certainly wasn't this charismatic person that you might see in front of you now. No, I was actually, if I'm really authentically honest and vulnerable, I was quite a broken person from the age of 15 when it happened to me because I'm dealing with all of these internal problems that nobody could see. It was through years of training, years of resilience, a massive amount of faith, really training myself, reading books, like massive amounts of self-development, including courses like this, doing the training sessions that got me to where I am today. No one is just born like that. You develop yourself when you're committed to being the greatest version of yourself. So it's great to have these guys. And at the end there, I've got my good friend Jason James, who is an absolute master, award-winning international speaker, like one of the best to do it. So we've just got an incredible array of trainers that will be coming in, people invited that will be coming in, all in service of having you guys be absolutely brilliant at speaking. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So let's learn a little bit more about this.
My Zoom's really going nuts.
Don't worry about it. So what is the investment? So this training program is a 12-week program and the investment is £3,000. It is application only. So it's not something that you can be like, Trey, I've got the money, I'm just going to give it to you. We're not going to take your money. It's application only. And the reason for that is very simple. Sobo Club is all about curating spaces. It's all about networking. So we want the right kind of people, like-minded people, people committed to being the best version of themselves, all in a room together. Because for anyone that's been to any event I've been around, I never, ever, and I mean ever, let anyone leave the room without knowing every single person in that room. I don't believe in networking where it's all about, look at me, I'm better than you, my business is turning up. I don't care about any of that. I'm all about Ubuntu, which is the African word for we win, we all win together. So application only is about having the right people in the space because I want you all connecting with each other with a view to support each other, not just on this training, but generally in life. Because as an added bonus, you also get to be part of Sobo Club and what we do. And to being in this environment with us when we have our events, we always have it where everyone supports everyone. Everyone got each other's back. Everyone shares their business with other people. It's very, very critical. So it is an application only process, and we will be sharing the link for the application, and someone in the team will then share that with me, and me or my wife or someone from the team will be calling you up and going through the application. So it's application only. So what does it look like? So it's a 12-week program. On weeks 1, which is the 25th of this month, Thursday, and then weeks 5 and 9, there will be in-person live training days. So this first one's going to be at the Other House. It's an incredible members club in South Kensington. And that's going to be in person. You have Elliot there and you have lots of our team that will be there training you. On the individual weeks around that, it's going to be on Zoom for 90 minutes. So what that looks like is on Thursday the 25th, it will be a live day from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock. The subsequent week, the next Thursday, will be a 90-minute Zoom. The one after that will be 90 minutes, and then the week after that will be 90 minutes. Every one of this training is going to be on a Thursday. And that's deliberately on a Thursday. Because if you're a business owner or someone that's serious, I know that the fact that you will take the time out for that day, that you're committed. Where sometimes when people do things on the weekends, you have all sorts of people doing it. No, this is for people who are committed. absolutely committed. 12 weeks of absolute unleash speaker training, absolutely unleash. So, like I said, it's an exclusive networking opportunity as well. There'll be other people in the room, and we have got some incredible people coming down as well that you'll have a chance to network with. And because confidence is a very key part of what we're doing, I will invite you to network. So, yes, during your breaks, during your lunches, there'll be people in that room that you might really want to know. Or maybe it's someone, one of the speakers. Not one person that will be there will not be unwilling to network and be with you. I want you getting people's numbers because beyond just speaking, we all know your net worth is your network. So you've got to be networking with people. So, like I say, training takes place within London, and the last one is going to be in a very special location. I can't wait for that. And that last one is going to be actually, I'm not going to spoil him, Ellie. I'm not going to tell him what that looks like. But my God, by the time they've done that last live session, these guys are going to be incredible speakers by then because you'll have no choice
Yeah.
but to be. It's going to be a baptism of fire at that point. You're really going to be incredible at that. So, this is all about growth. It's all about creating skills that position you for new opportunities, new clients, and new income.
Perfect. Well, I swap the slides over and I go back into some of the other keys. There's a couple of questions in there, Trey. So number one, how many spaces are there? And then do you connect people to bookers and speaker agencies while you're
Yeah, so
working with
guys,
them?
we're doing everything we can to keep the numbers down, although it's challenging keeping these numbers down. Really, we don't really want any more than about 20, 25, 30 tops in there because we want to keep the quality as best as we can in terms of everyone being able to get a chance to interact, etc. So you definitely want to be getting your applications in as quickly as possible. And then the second question was what, Elliot?
I think, and how many places are there?
Oh, up to 30. You said another question there.
No, you answered about the bookers.
Oh, no, about the
But,
book. No. So what do you mean by bookers in terms of people booking you to go on TV
yeah,
speak and things like that?
yeah,
Okay. Oh, so how that works as well, like I say, you'll become a member of Sobo Club as well. So what would happen, like for instance, when I go on GB or when I go on Good Morning Britain or something, because the producers all know me very well, they'll always ask me, Trey, do you have anyone that's an expert in this? So example, we got a call the other day from my wife, who's a refugee advocate, to speak about what's going on now. We all know about the migrant crisis and what's going on. It's probably the biggest thing now. So I can then say, right, yeah, I can get that person on. Or we had someone else, for instance, who asked, it was on GB News, about the stats just come out. Everyone got the A-level results, and they wanted someone to come on that was an expert in children education. So again, I look into Sober Club members. I'm like, right, who here has got that? So I get them on there. And that's one of the beauties, I'm surrounded by a lot of people in media and they're always needing stuff. Because they trust me, and because you guys would have been trained by myself and Elliot, and I will trust that you'll be good enough to go on TV, anyone that has the right credentials, the right training, and what you're speaking about is relevant to what the producers want, I will absolutely put you on. Now, it doesn't mean you get straight on TV. No, you don't, because the producer will grill you. No TV show puts you straight on a show without them grilling you to make sure you know your staff, that you're going to be good on TV. Basic things that you get, like not swearing. You wouldn't believe that sometimes people forget that they're actually live on TV. Just basic things. So, yeah, you will have to go through that. But there will be that opportunity for you to be able to do that once you become a Solo Club member. And like I said, on this occasion only, for those people that do join us, they will automatically also become members of the Sobo Club as well. And all of the benefits around that, including preferential rates for future training such as this. So it's a great
brilliant.
opportunity.
Great. My Zoom is going nuts. So I'm going to do things verbally. No, I won't bring up any more slides. Trace, thanks for that. So look, get your applications in. Remember, I'm very selective who I partner up with and who I work with. There's a reason why I choose my partners. And Trey's one of them because I know at the heart of everything he does, he cares about people. And that's really why I'm like, look, let's do this. When he turned to me like, I'd love to bring you in to partner up, I'm like, okay, let's do this partnership because I know a, it's going to reach people that I typically wouldn't necessarily reach, but B, the essence of it all is people that he cares about and Sober cares about and his wife cares about. And that's why I'm doing it. Let's carry on with a few more speaking things. I can't bring out slides. You're going to have to look at Trey. I can't unpin him. Mizzy,
Oh,
maybe you can
wow.
unpin him. I know my Zoom's gone nuts. I'm telling you. In the background, I've been clicking and ticking and trying. It's just not happening. But you're just going to have to listen to me. Mizzy, if you can unpin Trey, that would help. So you heard about positioning. You heard me talk about, everything that Trace talked about. Positioning matters, right? About your speaker bio. The importance of continuous feedback, that's important as well. So you'll get that. And of course, I want to talk about storytelling for a little bit. We've got 15 minutes to go, so I want to really deep dive into the speaking aspects, which is why I was saying stay till the end. Storytelling, as you heard from Trey, myself, generally speaking, as a world-class speaker, it's essential, right? It's really important that you're able to truly communicate a story. Now, a lot of people narrate stories. They'll go, I happened to this, and then this happened to me, and then this happened to me. But the ability to really take an audience on a journey through your story, that is so important. And there's various structures you can use. And I suggest after this, or whoever watching this on replay, that you really start to delve into the structure of storytelling. Where do you want to take the audience with your story? What is the point of the story you're telling? Why are you telling that part of the story? All these elements really, really matter, because what happens is if you're just standing on stage conveying information, we're already information heavy. People switch off. Stories bring things to life. I was working with a speaker and she was selling an app, and the app was very data driven, it's very dry. What we did is we took the story of the Greatest Showman and told the app story through the Greatest Showman, and the features being various aspects of the characters of the Greatest Showman. So she lent on a story to help sell the app, and that worked really well because people got it, they got the concept, they got what it did through the characters. When it comes to storytelling, what I see a lot from speakers is they're not able to really connect to the audience. And these days, people are moving far more to conversations with the audience than just talking at the audience, right? We're already inundated with information. So I really want you to look at, obviously, the hero's journey is the most famous storytelling. That's what a lot of films are based on. Start there. Start with a hero's journey, but really practice enrolling the audience into your story. This is so, so important, right? The other aspect of getting highly booked and highly paid is also creating expert content, right? The content you output needs to directly reflect your expertise, the problem you're solving, your positioning, and why to book you. So it's all very well putting posts out there going, you should book me because I'm a great storyteller, I'm funny, I move audiences, I change their lives. That's great. But for someone who's looking at your content, that's not telling them the problem you're solving, why they should book you, besides you're entertaining and you're funny. What is in it for them as the booker, and what's in it for their audience? So your content, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above, needs to reflect that. And I see it time and time again. People don't put enough expert content out. Was it you, Sophie? Were you on the call yesterday? Have you done extensive research about burnout? Was that you, Sophie? No, it wasn't you. Yesterday I was on a call and this lady had done extensive research on burnout, stats, data, the burnout within education and the burnout within corporate. She had it all segmented. Yet when you looked at a lot of the content she outputted, it wasn't there to be seen. And then she's like, well, I'm not quite getting the bookings I want. Well, that's because the expert content hasn't got the presence to demonstrate your expertise. So please start thinking intentionally on that aspect. So when you work with us, with Trey, if you look at the content that Trey's now able to produce, it directly positions him as an expert. Now, Trey, you might go, but Trey was on The Apprentice and Trey has a bigger platform. Trey's worked hard to get there, by the way, people. What he does is everybody can do whatever level you're at. You can all produce expert content. You can all produce videos that display that, right? Erica can be churning out some incredible AI stuff, right? Because, I'm not saying you don't, by the way. I'm just because I'm seeing you. You're one of the people I can see. I think what happens is a lot of us sit back, right? And we're like, oh, come knocking on my door, or really be intentional with the content to get you booked and get you paid. Make an extension of your expertise. So sure, yes, some of you, I know you've come from LinkedIn, so you've seen my thing with the ice cream that I did this week about, should I not? But the underneath that is always the watch me, right? The watch me aspect underlies it all now. And so I really would love you all to start to think like that, okay? I've got a couple more things and then we'll wrap this up. As you know, I always finish on time. So look, world-class speaking isn't an overnight thing. Becoming highly paid and highly booked does take time. energy, intention, perseverance, it is worthwhile, right? And what I invite you all to do, we've talked about positioning, we've talked about your bio, you've heard Trey talking about media, the importance of legacy media, the importance about media ready, right? Um, I can think of one person who a lot of us will know who was already very established, but then he got on a world like a podcast, and that shot him to a whole new level of fame. Start to be intentional with what you put out there, right? If you're not getting the bookings you want, if you're not getting the type of bookings you want, are you communicating the problem you solve well enough? Is the stuff you're putting out there reflective of you, right? That includes your websites, that includes your social media. Are you the person? Do people know about you enough to turn to you for your expertise? So maybe the answer is yes, by the way. I don't know. I want you to think about that. But you've really got to give speaking the same level of attention and energy that you would your other business, right? And I know a lot of you are business owners. This is why you do it, right? Because it will open doors to other stuff. It's not a dip double thing. And really, what we'd love, 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 of course, to do is support you through Unleashed. I'm not doing many more trainings anymore. I only do mainly partnerships. I know some of you work with me one-to-one. I do a little bit, a handful of one-to-ones. I'm not doing a lot of trainings as of moving forwards because I'm focused on the CEO role with the Pro Speakers, the Speaker World Speaker Summit. I am still doing a handful. Trey is one of them. I'm doing another one with Spark in a couple of weeks. So there's a few trainings I'm involved with, but I'm not putting on many myself. So if you are thinking this could be for you, fill in the application form, have a call, walk away. If it's not for you, you can go, no, do you know what? But I know, having known Trey and I've met his wife, they are hearty people. They care about people, in essence. And that's where I want to leave you. So just make sure that whatever you do, position yourself well, be ready, right? Trey got thrown into being the underdog and he stepped up and he was ready for the challenge, right? I can't promise you that everything will land on your lap, but I can promise you that if you show up at the best version of yourself, the journey towards success becomes a lot easier. Doesn't mean it's easy. All right. Okay. Please remember that. So make sure, as well as everything else, you have your show reel. That has to show your speaking expertise. Does your current show reel reflect you and the problem you solve, or is it a nice to watch show reel? Does it just feel nice? Ask yourself that question. Does your website reflect you? Right? Does everything about reflect your expertise? Does everything about you reflect your expertise that you put out there? I want you to think about that. I'd love to work with you on Unleashed as well. If that's for you, fantastic. Fill in the form. You'll get a call from one of Trey's team. You might not get Trey. For those who wanting Trey, I'm pretty sure you might not get Trey. I don't know. Trey can answer that. Otherwise, listen, take this, do something with it. I'm going to hand over to Trey to wrap up. Got a couple more minutes left. I don't know if there's any questions at all, but over to you, Trey.
Yeah, thanks for that, Elliot. I love it when you said that as well. This whole thing about caring and making a difference. I think there are sometimes that isn't people's focus, and I love it. That's what I love about working with you, where there's a real intention to have people be their very best. And that's why another thing, and I don't know if I mentioned this as well, is during that 12 weeks, I'm going to be mentoring everyone. And anyone that's ever worked with me, I mean, my God, I don't know how you guys are going to be ready for how I mentor. So I don't mentor from a place where I listen to you as small. I mentor from a place where I listen to you as big as you can be. It can be, so I think somebody's on mute there. So whilst we're on this training, like Elliot said, sometimes what we do is we like to hide in plain sight. So we will sort of silently, quickly sort of self-sabotage a little bit in order to like stay in the background because we know we want to alter the world or alter our own lives, but there's a part of us, that little voice in the head. And I call that voice Amy. And I'm going to tell you why, real briefly, why I call it Amy. Whilst I was going through a lot of the suffering I went through, and a lot of it was neurological, I had to learn a lot about the brain and the limbic system and everything else. And I stumbled across, I think it was an article purely about the amygdala. The amygdala is the center of your limbic system. It's all about your fight or flight mechanism. So I've named that little voice that we all have in our head. And right now, if you were silent, you'd be able to hear that little voice because it'd be judging, it'll be evaluating, it'll be thinking, I agree with that, I don't agree with that, I don't know about this, my stomach's rumbling, whatever it might be. I call that voice Amy because she never stops. But what Amy does is often a self-saboteur. So when there's an opportunity or you can make a difference or you can do that, Amy often will say, yeah, but are you good enough? Or are you really there? Or is it the right time? Or maybe next month, or maybe we'll do it then. The one thing about me as a mentor and as a coach is learn to tune Amy out. Amy is part of this ancient part of our physiology whose main job was to keep us safe from saber-toothed tigers. She wasn't to keep us safe from stages or going on TV or committing to a training course or something. That wasn't her role. But we've allowed that because we're always looking for threats. So if there's anyone there that's kind of like maybe on the fence or they're not sure or they maybe are sabotaging even doing their own bio or anything like that, now's the time to step up. Don't let Amy, short for the amygdala, don't let Amy win because she's talking and she's trying to talk you out of your greatness. So when I coach and mentor you, all I listen to you is your greatness, not Amy. Your greatness, your purpose, your raison d'etre, as they say, your reason for being, what's important to you. Someone here put their mother was important to you. It might be someone's child's important to them. It might be there's a message. Maybe like me, you've been through hell with your body and with medical issues and you want no one else to suffer. Whatever it is that's important, let that purpose, that fire, that passion, let that be the only thing you listen to and not that little voice in your head, the self-doubt, that I'm not sure, the critical self. We all have that. None of that's going to happen while you're on this training. Wherever you are in your life, you're going to be getting mentored to make sure that you are operating at the highest possible levels in your life. Because whatever you think is the highest, there's going to be another step above that. So you're going to be getting my mentoring for 12 weeks. And I am just as animated whilst talking to you one-on-one, because you will get that one-on-one time with me, as I would be talking to you guys as a group, because I'm very passionate that everyone gets to be their greatest self at all times. I think it was George Bernard Shaw that says that I want to be thoroughly used up before I shuffle off this mortal coil. And that's me. I want to be thoroughly used off up. That's why age is no barrier to me whatsoever. I'm always going to be growing and training. And I invite you guys to do the same. So that's really all I want to say, Elliot. The link is on there, the Unleash link. If you scroll down to the bottom, there will be an application. Everything you need to know, dates, and all that sort of stuff is on there. The only thing that's not on there yet is just a venue again, because it's a numbers thing. We have to wait for that just to make sure that we can accommodate everyone, capped at 30. But everything else you need is going to be on that page there as well. And you will actually be getting a call from me directly. That's my promise to everyone, Elliot, because it's you. I'm going to make sure I do it and no one else from the team does that. So anyone that's applied, you'll be getting a call from me as well, because I really want to get underneath the bonnet and see what it is that you really, really want to be able to create over the 12 weeks of this course. That's really important because the minute you register for something, the course starts from then, way before you actually even come. It's the minute you throw your hat into the ring and you register, that's it. The gun's gone off, the race has begun, and we're going to do it. So, Elliot, thank you for every single person that's on this webinar.
Yeah, thank
See
you.
you.
I'm sorry I've had such bad luck with Zoom.
No. We don't say sorry, dude. This was perfect. There was no
Perfect,
problems
exactly.
whatsoever. This was a perfect Zoom. It was a perfect conversation, and I honor everyone that took time out on this Friday afternoon to be on this call because I know whether you guys do this or not, I know you're all committed. The fact that you're physically here, you're all committed to taking yourself to the next level. So I thank you all for being here.
Thank you all, and we'll see you all very soon. I'm sure there's be other opportunities. Look forward to seeing you. Loving the round of applause. If you send me a personal message, I haven't been able to open them, so I'm sorry if I haven't responded. Feel free to email me. I'll send the replay of this as well, but with the links and everything. But thank you all, and Mizzy will end the call because I can't actually press on anything. It's very frustrating. Have a lovely day, everybody. Loads of love,
Have
and
a great
enjoy
weekend.
your Friday. See you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.